He's saying that he hopes this agreement will prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon in the future. But according to what has been made public about the Memorandum of Understanding, I'm curious, how does the memorandum reflect that Iran will in fact not obtain a nuclear weapon in the future? What prevents them later on, as you mentioned, from rebuilding and restarting from where we were before the war?
They need a lot of money to rebuild their nuclear program. Billions in nuclear infrastructure destroyed by the United States. To rebuild their program, they'd need significant funds, but we're keeping them in an economic stranglehold until they change their behavior. What would that look like? That day is today, he says.
He says, what would that be? It seems like he hasn't read the agreement. I mean, he says, no, don't worry. It's like for a program, for money, for a nuclear program. Don't worry. They don't have money. We're strangling them financially. Exactly the opposite. What the agreement is actually doing is sending them an impressive amount of money. And obviously with that, they'd have more than enough to carry out that and other, well, tremendous programs. Now, also Diego himself, how are you? Good evening, greetings to Tapatía. What a great match. Especially, I'm referring to the fans, right? The fans in Jalisco, excellent. From what I was able to see, at least, really great. To everyone over there in Jalisco, big greetings also to Lucia Escudero, to Leonardo, right? I think Leonardo is there, and to the whole community that's watching live. Has the power issue been fixed, Leonardo? I hope so. Is it fixed now? Please tell us. Look, there's another comment about the Israel issue from Netanyahu, which is also intense. Listen to this. Now,
I saw the Axios report. You know, Netanyahu is furious. That doesn't reflect the conversations I've had with him, but maybe he's telling someone else something he's not telling me. What I will say, and this does bother me, is that you've seen people inside Bibi's cabinet come out and attack the agreement, and in some cases they've attacked the President of the United States in a very personal way. And I guess my message to them would be twofold. Number one, Donald J. Trump is the only head of state in the entire world right now who is sympathetic to the nation of Israel. Trump es el único jefe de Estado en todo el mundo que comment that he is the head of state of the world superpower. If I wouldn't attack the only ally I have left in the whole world. And the second message I would give to some of those cabinet members is that Bibi, to his credit, has not gone down this path. But to some of those cabinet members in Israel who are attacking the President of the United States, in the past 3 months, 2/3 of the weapons, how tremendous is that protected their homeland, have been built by American hands and paid for with the taxes of, look, the problem for Israel is not Donald J. Trump. And anyone in Israel who fears ciudadanos estadounidenses. El problema para Israel no es Donald J. Trump. Y cualquiera en Israel que piense que su mayor problema es el presidente, that their biggest problem is the president of the United States, y darse cuenta de la realidad de la situación that country is in. Well, Netanyahu...
Listen to this tremendous comment. Roblox says the team won thanks to the goalkeeper's mistake. Well, of course, that's what everyone is saying. All the goals are because of mistakes by the goalkeeper or the defense, always. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any goals. If there weren't mistakes by the goalkeeper or the defense, there wouldn't be any goals. Obviously, there has to be a mistake. That's just normal, right? That's the usual thing. Now, the point is to stay alert. And obviously, there were also some amazing plays by Mexico in defense right from the start. Just incredible. Listen to this. There were some amazing plays by Mexico in defense. Right at the beginning, there was a goal that was supposed to be for Korea. It was Korea's. They already had it there, and the defender literally took it out with an incredible play. Incredible. So with how things are, the games are really balanced, right? When you see Cape Verde playing against Portugal and when you see Spain, the one that plays against Congo, listen, the one that plays against Portugal. I mean, you say to yourself these days, well, look, the one who has to win is going to win, and they're going to give their maximum effort. And there will be mistakes, and there will be this, and there will be beautiful plays and ugly plays. But the point is, well, that it should be won as cleanly as possible, right? Within what sports are about. Amazing saves, incredible moves, a lot of strategy, obviously also some lack of technique from Netanyahu, the Koreans. That's true, a lot of speed, but not much strategy, not much technique, honestly. And well, everyone sees what they want to see. The game is obviously interesting, listen, especially the crowd, I loved watching it. And the celebrations have also been amazing, right? In the stands, right? It's been an interesting topic. Hey, There's an agreement that's basically on the verge of breaking at this intent. Iranian media have said that, listen, they suspended the entry agreement, but let's see why. What's really going on? And let's also see what's happening and what the reactions from the United States are. But first, look, JD Vance has put the trip on hold. JD about Netanyahu. Listen, look, there's another comment about heading to Switzerland and being in the United States. It's about JD Vance's trip. It hasn't been officially announced yet, but it's also been suspended. This is huge.
The attacks the Netanyahu issue, it's huge. Look, there's another comment. Things are intense. We'll get to that in a moment. We'll get to that. But anyway, about JDS, well, this Netanyahu and the US delegation, that's also...
Listen to this comment. She was ready to go to Switzerland.
This trip has been suspended. They say it's due to logistical problems. So, well, what the White House says is that these kinds of negotiations, according to them, have never been simple or predictable. And they avoided confirming a new departure date, meaning they don't have a departure date. This is happening at the same time as we're seeing something tremendous. It's barely holding together, not even with pins anymore. Listen. Look, a comment, not even with pins. This has attracted attention. There's also a comment about possibly traveling this weekend to start technical talks since the 60 days begin today, as mentioned in the opening video. Or is this about Israel? This one, with a lot of jokes, according to him, saying no, that they're already about to leave for that. You all hear about this situation?
No. Yes, no. Among the differences between Israel and the United States, it's like the United States tries to balance things out, right? With Israel. And so Israel doesn't get too upset. They said, well, guess what? I'm going to impose even harsher sanctions on Hezbollah. They don't care if sanctions target Hezbollah. And Israelis aren't concerned about the number of sanctions either. The difference isn't a big deal either. It's symbolic. But if JD Vance is already drawing attention and saying, hey, be careful, because you're dealing with the superpower, right? And yes, that's what he says, right? You're with the superpower, and that's it. We want to help you, right? That's the end of it. So then, well, what kind of ally is that, right? But on the other hand, Israel has also been an ally that acts according to its own interests. Obviously, both of them are looking out for themselves, doing what's convenient for them. But what's interesting here is what's happening inside Iran. Because in the end, the agreement is about getting the Iranians to do something the United States wants, which is about the nuclear program. That's the whole thing, right? So, if suddenly JD Vance is saying they're not going to have a nuclear program because it's a matter of money. And the dangerous part. First, what are they going to do? The first thing that's going to happen, besides the signing, is that the United States will send $6 billion as a guarantee that the agreement is moving forward. Yeah. Do you know how much South Korea's nuclear program costs? Approximately between 7 and 8 billion. I mean,
give them a few billion and they'd have plenty.
I mean, they would have more than enough. In fact, one of the reasons why South Korea decided, well, North Korea actually decided to go for nuclear weapons is because it's the cheapest way. Yes.
To ensure your survival.
Stosa. To ensure your survival. Because it's either that or go head to head with F-35S and aircraft carriers. Right. An investment, I mean, I'm talking about jets similar to the F-35 submarines at the level that the United States has.
The nuclear ones, all that stuff.
You need to invest too much in aircraft carriers. So when they do the calculations, I mean, looking at the military analyses, they say, look, this is what it would cost to have what the United States has to be somewhat competitive on nuclear weapons. And nobody messes with you. And it costs a fraction of everything else. So that's also misleading on the part of JD Vance. He knows that the cost to have nuclear weapons is very low. I mean, the issue here is not the cost, but rather the issue of they're not being targeted by intelligence agencies to prevent the program, as has happened. But eventually, they'll adapt and end up running a nuclear program from bunkers without us noticing, like North Korea did. So that's a real risk. Even if they want to downplay it, the risk is always going to be there, especially now that there's already been a conflict. That internally is going to justify this for them more and more.
Exactly. And well, let's go to what the Iranian media are saying. Okay, Let's go. Let's see what's happening.
Let's see what we do with the void. Well, the Iranian media are issuing a message in which supposedly the negotiations between the United States and Iran are suspended. How do they announce it? What have they done?
Well, according to Iranian media outlets like Farsi al-Mayadin, Iranian officials say that the negotiation process with the United States has been halted for 60 days after accusing Washington of violating the first clause of the negotiation framework, which was that Israel would withdraw from Lebanon and that the aggressions would have to stop. Well, Iranian officials argue that the Israeli attacks in southern Lebanon happened less than 24 hours after it was signed. Less than 24 hours after the agreement was signed electronically constitutes a direct violation of the United States' obligations under the agreement. It is reported that the Iranian delegation was preparing to leave for Switzerland for the first round of talks when Tehran abruptly cancelled the trip. Now, Iranian officials say they will not fulfill their own commitments until they are completely sure that Israeli attacks against Lebanon have stopped and that the United States has met the requirements of the first clause.
There's the message, right? By the way, thank you very much for this super chat. Super chat. Big shout out to Jorge, says Jorge Colici. Congratulations to both of you for your effort and consistency in keeping us well informed. I hope the agreement lasts, but it looks very difficult. Yes, but it's very difficult. Yes. And look, there's a reaction. I don't know if this is the one you haven't put up, right?
That's the one from NATO.
Right? Well, no, we'll put that up in a moment, okay? Since we're already on the topic of NATO, and I was just mentioning the agreement, the sanction that the United States imposed on Hezbollah, just as a quick side note, because we didn't give the details. The United States government announced that there is a new round of sanctions against Lebanese officials, as well as companies and businessmen who are part of Hezbollah. The idea is to hinder the financing of that radical group from within Lebanon, and that has caused so many problems. But honestly, it doesn't really have such a significant effect. And what we've seen is that reactions from high-ranking officials within Netanyahu's close cabinet circle have strongly criticized the agreement. They dislike the agreement, and Netanyahu won't say it unless it's a last resort. But it's being said by the foreign minister. It's being said by the defense minister himself. They're being very critical on that issue because they feel that the war didn't have the effect they wanted. So, well, that's now an internal conflict between them and a problem for the Gulf countries because they keep insisting that they want everything to be released as it was. I mean, that the Strait of Hormuz should be completely open. By the way, today and yesterday, several of these supertankers carrying oil from Saudi Arabia and other countries have already passed through the Strait of Hormuz. It's super delicate. The issue is that they didn't want to move because just imagine one of these little drones hitting a supertanker, the explosion. It sounds like one of those gas tankers could also be hit, right? I mean, it's really serious because in the end, they're almost like moving bombs, right? Where a little drone, like what's happened with the climb, a mine. I mean, they destroy the whole ship and everything that's there. People, cargo, whatever you want. So I say Russia is learning this in a very harsh way. Like there it is. All your refineries are very easy to attack, very easy to destroy. Because, I mean, it's a weak point. That can happen anywhere in the world, especially where there are wars or conflicts with nearby borders, like in the case of Russia and Ukraine. It's very complicated. I mean, how do you stop those attacks? Complicated. No matter how much Iron Shield Israel has or anything else, you know that a certain percentage is going to get through. And if where it gets through, there's something flammable, highly flammable, like these gas and oil tanks, then obviously it creates a problem. But anyway, going back to what we were talking about regarding Iran and the reactions from the United States, is there anything else we're missing there?
Well, about this topic, let's go with what was requested. Well, we haven't mentioned the $6 billion, sorry. Anyway, right now, it's known that the money is being moved, not for Washington. Washington has to provide $6 billion so Iran can buy certain things that, let's say, have to be humanitarian and have to be from the United States, which they are forced to buy there. Well, Trump agreed to allow Iran to access these $6 billion in frozen oil revenues, but under a controlled scheme.
Okay.
The money will be released in phases and only to buy humanitarian and non-sanctioned goods from the United States. The idea is that these funds won't go to Tehran as unrestricted funds. They'll be held in Qatar, and the money can only be spent on American products, which is what was done with Venezuela.
Yes.
Also, the first payment that was made, well, that's what makes this a relief. Regarding Iran's humanitarian financial needs, this is part of the 60-day agreement. Now, the question is this going to be frozen? What's going to happen? And well, Iran would have to show that there is progress on the nuclear issue, including the management, reduction, and dilution of enriched material under international suspension, which, by the way, Iran already had that. It's just that I don't know if it's still in progress or not, but anyway, Iran just did invite the OAS to inspect its facilities because it's within the framework of the agreement it made with the United States. The Supreme Leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, publicly supported the negotiations for the first time, although, well, he also passed the ball to the president. He said if this fails, it's the president's fault.
We read the full letter from the Supreme Leader where he basically says that, I don't agree. The Supreme Leader says he doesn't agree. The Supreme Leader says he doesn't agree with that agreement. But he made me understand Masoud Pezeshkian or more. The Iranian president, well, it seemed like there were intentions for something very convenient for Iran to happen. So he says, well, he holds the president responsible and says with the promise that President Mazur, well, he said if they don't comply, then the agreement is simply broken.
This invitation to the OAS, I would put it in quotation marks, honestly, because who reveals this? Steve Witkoff. So if the United States reveals it and Iran doesn't, honestly, I don't trust it at all. This was made public today, and well, Witkoff told congressional leaders and the members of the National Security Committee Iran had drafted a side letter to the recently signed Memorandum of Understanding where they extended an invitation to the director. From the OAS to Rafael Mariano Grossi, well, we have to remember that Iran threatened to kill Grossi so that he would move the inspectors to Tehran. Sorry. And this information was confirmed by two sources familiar with the meeting in the United States. Witkoff emphasized that the letter would allow the organization to identify and track the enriched uranium reserves in Iran.
That's the issue. Thank you very much, by the way, to Aurora.
Thank you very much, Aurora.
Thanks for the super chat and to everyone supporting us with memberships and super chats. We really appreciate it. There are other important matters. The Pentagon is telling US lawmakers that it needs money. Money?
I don't know what this war is going to bleed dry.
So this is what the Pentagon is telling US lawmakers, that it needs pay attention to this. $80 billion for expenses in the war against Iran. Yes, that need to be done. And other bills according to a report. Now, according to this report, 60 to 80 billion, besides add the amount of money that's going to be spent on that reconstruction they're talking about in Iran. I understand that the $24 billion is money that already belongs to Iran. That they have... Okay, that's fine. But they're talking about amounts like $300 billion that they're asking for to rebuild what was destroyed inside Iran. And that reconstruction involves missile launchers, bunkers. It also includes areas that have to do with weapons.
Right? Exactly. Well, according to this, the Pentagon, just to expand a bit more on the information, needs these $80 billion to cover the costs of the war with Iran, as well as other bills not related to the war. This report was presented by the Deputy Secretary of Defense, named Stephen Feinberg, who informed the lawmakers about the costs, for example, in a phone call. And well, according to what he added, in the coming days, a supplemental request could be sent to lawmakers that would include for the funds, for what the funds are actually for, as well as their priorities, etc., regarding non-defense matters, for example, agricultural aid or disaster assistance, but anyway, the point is that money keeps going out, right? Spending that money, this exact topic, and it doesn't look like it's going to end.
No, not at all. Especially with J.D. Vance suspending the Switzerland trip. Let's go to them. So this image comes up. This is a moment when it's launched by Russia. We're seeing it right there. A Manpads is launched, which is kind of like a bazooka. There it is. It's launched with the civilians. Passing by there, they don't even tell them, hey, don't go through there. They just keep going. And they're launching this. This isn't right. Look, he just fired at one of these drones. This happened today. It was chaotic for Moscow today. And well,
Do you realize they're not prepared?
no, they're not prepared. And it was Moscow and its surroundings smelling like something burning. So now it's basically the whole capital of Russia, right? A runner and a dark colored rain, basically soot or smoke coming from all these fires that have been happening. There are a lot of images. Is this image from there or is it from somewhere else?
These are the current attacks between Hezbollah and Israel, which we haven't really discussed in detail, right?
Yes, we'll discuss that soon and revisit these images. But this image is from Russia, correct? That's the stage, but no.
It's not the stage, but it's not about the stage. It's about this issue. This explosion is caused by Russia's own defense system because they misdirect the missile or projectile and they themselves hit this fuel tank.
Let's say that specific tank
Exploded because of them.
because of them.
And it's just that. I mean, besides, honestly, I'm going to say the word, they're clumsy when it comes to handling weapons. They destroy things themselves.
Well, yes, that's it. I mean, in the end, they weren't prepared for the war to come to them, and clearly they're not getting ready for it.
No? Well, today there was chaos in Times Square. Shots were fired right in the middle of Times Square with all the tourists there, and the suspect was detained and the weapon secured. But it's striking this happens during the World Cup. Still, in the United States, things like this happen almost daily, right?
But in some regions, they really do have some problems because of the excess of guns, and especially a lot of people who suddenly just go crazy.
Yeah, they just go crazy and that's it.
Well, the thing is that this happened in New York, right in Times Square, by the way. Gunshots occurred at the tourist spot. Actually, a police officer is just calmly walking around there. It catches my attention. The cop is on this side. Look, there he is. I mean, he's just there. Like, he should be running toward the area, but no, he just stands there watching like, yeah.
For example, the other day there was, I can't remember the name, but one of the most famous soccer players from Norway, a blonde guy with long hair. There he was just walking around. Imagine, if something like that happens, you'd get caught up in all of it, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The point is that there's a lot of tourism right now. There are a lot of people who are going to other countries. They just go to these kinds of places. And, well, there are some little problems there, right? Let's move on to other important matters as well. We still have this image pending where you can see attacks. Is this inside Lebanon, inside Israel? Where did this happen? What's the situation there?
Those are the attacks happening between Israel and Hezbollah. This is part of what can be seen in the area of Ali al-Tajir in southern Lebanon. When Hezbollah started launching rockets against Israeli IDF positions, they responded with artillery and flares. There is also talk of an Israeli airstrike that hit an area very close to a place called Zebdin.
Well, there are still challenges there, and oil prices are already rising slightly. Okay? It had closed in the United States at 80.01 right now. It's at 80.50. I mean, it's a tiny change, but let's say in Asia, it's bouncing back a little. No. As long as it doesn't go up to 90 or something like that. Well, I imagine it's going to be normal within reason. It goes up a little and that's it. But as long as the price doesn't skyrocket again, it's still a very high price. Today they said gasoline prices in the United States are dropping slightly. And hopefully that effect will start to be noticed little by little. If the agreement continues, then yes, the decrease in money will be noticeable. Also today, while Donald Trump is attending this, well, like, it's like a tribute, something like that, right? Medal, something like that, a medal of honor that a veteran puts on him. And, well, the story was that it took a long time to put it on. He took a while there. He spent quite some time. It's like that's not really his thing. And, well, he was there for quite a while trying to put it on him.
Fernando, how do you put this on?
Yes.
Just put some Velcro on it and that's it. Yes.
Okay, put it on.
So it's something simple. Exactly. And, well, here are some more of these images of the explosions. There are already 500. In Moscow, 527 flights were cancelled today in Moscow. Basically, all civilian flights were paralyzed within the capital of Russia. More than 600 drones were launched between last night and today. I mean, yes, it was one of the most tremendous attacks on Moscow, specifically this time from Ukraine, but, well, that's how things are. Look, here are some other images. This is also part of what's happening over there in Israel.
Right? Exactly, by the way, there. Hezbollah stated today that these attacks began at 5:30 p.m. around Kafar Tevnit in the southern governorate of Navatiel, when the Israeli troops, according to them, tried to advance toward a town called Arnon, according to Hezbollah's statement. And, well, they tried to, that's how they justify their attack, right? With the idea that Israel was the one who tried to advance. And, well, Israel, for its part, says that they were in their security zone and suddenly there was an attack by Hezbollah, so they had to defend themselves and will do whatever is necessary. Well, Netanyahu already said that they are not going to leave southern Lebanon.
He refuses to leave. So let's focus on other important matters. Let's move on to other important matters about what's happening in the world. Today, there was a blackout affecting more than 300,000 homes in the United States. Now it's down to 176,000. The situation has been improving a bit. Almost all of the problem has been in the east. Yes, in the eastern United States. Here's the map. Most things have happened in the eastern United States. I guess it's partly the heat. And on that side, there are also storms, and the storms have been hitting. In fact, so in this area, a potential phenomenon is developing. It's heading there. It passed through Texas and Louisiana and is now moving on to other states. I assume it's all connected. Let's see if they can solve it by tomorrow. But they're also very good. Part of the topics that are drawing attention today. Today, well, it was an extremely hot day here where we are. Yesterday, it reached 43 degrees today as well in Texas. They reached a heat index of 54 degrees. 54 degrees in the southern part. Exactly. I mean, I had already told you about the possibility of extreme heat. And well, basically, that's what's been happening. And that's what's going to keep happening too. For some areas, also out west, let's say in the northwest of Mexico, in the southwest of the United States, where we see, let's see if we can pull up the map here. In this area, right? From side to side, basically, right? From the southeast to the northwest to the southwest of the United States, this whole stretch has been extremely hot. There's not as much rain anymore, although sometimes there are storms because of that, thunderstorms. But that's mainly in this area, right? But right now, there isn't a single phenomenon. Nothing is being reported for the next 7 days regarding hurricanes on the Pacific side or the Atlantic side. So maybe something could form. Down there for Carol in the South. We'll talk more about it later. In the meantime, let's go to the comments. Well, 1-0, like Ada said. Ada did it. Well, look, the pass and the pass, right?
But not the first country to advance?
The first country to advance is super interesting. Yes, it was very exciting. There were all kinds of emotions. Yes, they looked focused. Well, yes, things could be improved, however you want to put it, on both sides, on both teams. Things could be improved, but there were also other good plays that led to that result. And well, that's it. I was able to enjoy it, even though we only watched the second half. Yeah, because we were running late and, well, we arrived late.
Traffic.
It's just horrible traffic. I mean, and everything. Yeah, the whole city had no traffic because everyone is watching the soccer game. So the whole city had no traffic. And in the last 5 minutes or so, it took us an hour. I mean, in the last 5 minutes of the trip. No. It took us an hour. So we were listening to it on the radio. I was reading what people were saying. We were all in the same situation. We were all desperate to get there. You looked around and everyone was like, man, and it's not like there'd been an accident. Nothing.
Nothing. It's just that. Well, the traffic lights also went out because there was a blackout in Monterrey.
That must have been it. That makes sense. Since everything was at a standstill and nothing was moving. And then when it was our turn at the traffic light, it was on. In our case, I imagine it's because we were stuck, especially from that time on. Most of the time, we didn't even move. It wasn't like that just standing still. And you don't know what's next because the next avenue is very far away.
Yes, you don't know what the problem is.
Hey, you don't know what the problem is. You're just waiting, seeing traffic officers and others pass. But we never learned what was wrong. I guess that's just how it goes.
You know, related to that.
I think so. Yes, it could be. Well, that's how things are, says Novak's dad, on a day like today. By the way, Marvin, thank you so much for that.
Being a member.
But yes, for supporting him, for being here for a month now, right? And, well, thank you so much also to the whole community that's here every day, whether you comment or sometimes you don't, but you're still here, right? I'm really grateful to all of you, to those who speak up, and to those who don't, right? A big shout out to Master Shifu.
Greetings.
What did you think, Master?
Greetings to Alex G, and Lucia Escudero says that it's this one.
Today, right now, it's Leonardo.
Yes, Pepe says, I'm here. I'm without power, but your wisdom enlightens me in this darkest moment of my life. It's good that you're cold, because, well, if you were hot...
Oh, yes, I think it's easier to be without power when it's cold than when it's hot. What do you do? I mean, where do you go? At least here you can cover up, right? You put something on.
Cheers. Thanks to Retrocritica, let's welcome that member to the community.
Thank you, Retrocritica. Greetings to you and the entire community, including all members and newcomers.
Wiki says, I couldn't see the goal. I didn't see it either. I mean, we were making popcorn, and that's it. I just heard them shout goal. Because it was really surprising. Because it happened due to the goalkeeper's distraction, and the other player was really alert because he could have easily missed the opportunity.
In this World Cup, there have been several mistakes like that, and they haven't taken advantage of them. I mean, like, let's do it, and then they don't. I mean, that would be it.
Of course, the amazing save by the Mexican goalkeeper. I mean, he held onto that ball for dear life. He stopped it like 3 times.
At the same moment.
On the bicycle kick clearance, I didn't...
Let's see who it was. I watched the replay, and I couldn't see who it was. Who did the bicycle kick, if you can tell me. The one who cleared with a bicycle kick. I mean, well, I think I heard that it was already offside. So even if it had gone in, it wouldn't have counted as a goal. Anyway, the point is, it was amazing to hear it on the radio, right? You start imagining it all while stuck in traffic. And on a different note, did you see the guy from Qatar break his leg? I mean, Canada versus Qatar.
Break or broken or dislocated?
No, I don't think it's broken, but you can see it looks like it's in different positions. Yes.
Yes. Nina says it's cutting out a lot. Nina, it must be your internet since we have no problem here.
And we don't have...
The stream isn't cutting out or anything. But check it and reload. And if you can't see us live, you know, you can always watch the replay here.
Yeah, man. No, we don't have any interruptions right now. I mean, we're on.
The internet is working great. Greetings to Juan Carlos. He says, hi, Pepe. That's from Mexico City. What does it say? What's up? Monterrey has no electricity because the governor didn't pay the bill, using the funds for his stadium trips instead. He hasn't missed one. He's at all of them. It's crazy, really. I mean, he's in party mode. Did you know that?
He's in party mode.
He's been partying for a month. So, well, the guy already does. I mean, we'll see him. I don't know. If also, no. Well, I haven't gone to the United States. I mean, well, I think he plans to go to all of Mexico's games.
This childish guy, right?
No. He'll die.
He'll die. Yes, of course.
I expect we'll see it in the United States, too.
Yes, of course, surely.
Well, he has things to do here.
Well, he's one of the governors who actually has a visa, because there are some governors who want to avoid visas. This childish one. No, it's just that I also remember now about the childish one. I mean, the childish one isn't showing up. I mean, it's like he has bilocation. He magically appears everywhere. I don't know who he is yet.
Yes.
I don't know how he's doing it. We have several theories. Let's see. One theory is because he took a trip. For example, today, when it would take 6 hours by plane to get from one place to another. But that's it. There were only 2 hours between one event and the other. So how did he travel there? See. One possibility, because they've done it before at other events, even with politicians, is that they lend them military jets. And that's it, America, right? They spend, they use military resources and so on. And well, we don't know how he's doing it. But Infantino was at 3 different events today, very different ones. One in Florida, another in Los Angeles, and another in Canada.
Yes, yes, yes. Impressive.
Sorry, let me just read this comment that Autoclick sent us here. It says, greetings from Ukraine, my friend.
Greetings.
We watch you daily and you keep me company during my streams. Thank you for being great and for your comment, Retocritica. Huge shout out, brother.
And any comment you want to leave us, we have a section on Telegram where you can leave messages with Viva Viva Voz. With Viva Viva Voz, you can email us anything you want to share about how things are going, and we'll pass it along here, okay?
Exactly. They're going all out, Billy. They're going all out. They've been attacking Israeli positions, Hezbollah, Israeli positions. Israel has obviously also been attacking Hezbollah, and they're really hitting each other hard, right? Hi, Billy. Nina, how are you? He thanks you. Cheers, Nina. Let's see if it gets resolved.
Greeting.
Been.
It says Japan versus Tunisia next Saturday night at the BBA. Get ready for the traffic. No, well, it's not even traffic. They just closed the street and you can't get out. If you can't get out, yes, thank you. You're right.
The greetings.
What do you mean by being...
Okay.
Oh, on buses with that, because yes, thank you.
We already saw the Japanese here on the streets. I already saw the princess in one of the hotels where all the luxury ones are, luxury. And while the lady was very elegant, look, today was really strange. Because, I mean, it's impressive how much it's changed, because Monterrey wasn't a very...
Like Mexico City is, I think. That's where almost everything is concentrated, right? Yeah, everything foreign is over there. Or you could say that's where almost everything foreign is concentrated. They're over there. Or in places like Cancun and so on. But in recent years, people have changed radically. You walk among the people, and before it used to be greetings.
Like Cancun.
And before it was a small town, it was extremely rare without seeing a single one. Now they're everywhere. There are Asians everywhere, even in the most inhospitable places where people say, hey, you shouldn't be walking around this neighborhood, buddy. But today we were passing through Colón full of Asians, and many of them are tourists. But many, you can tell, are already from here. I mean, they already live here. What do the Koreans do? Yes, they're Koreans. And the Afro-descendants, right? I don't know if they're African-Americans or literally Africans from over there. Greetings.
Hey.
What's that, Naitiana? But anyway, the Afro-descendants, right? Those ones, they're already totally involved. En dientes steste totalum. For example, in what they're saying, they're doing right now. Because of the whole World Cup thing, you saw a lot of Mexicans, but there was always a Haitian group in the crowd. Well, I assume they were Haitians, right? Yeah. Noah's dad says today is Paul McCartney's birthday. He turns 84. Regards.
Also says Infant 84. Yeah, kind of. You see him and... No thanks. Francisco says Infantino is bald. Yeah.
How have you been?
Francisco says Infantino está pelón. Sí, está pelón. So says it's because he has a private jet to Qatar, but they're going, or thanks.
Greetings. How have you been?
Escudero says, PPS, now I'm Leonardo. I'm getting ready again for future blackouts. I'm the month. Just imagine how important the news is that I don't even miss them, not even without thanks.
Greetings. Thank you very much, Leonardo. I mean, because the situation is complicated there. How have you been?
How are you, Japan, says Reto Critica. Thank you, friends. I will be sending information through Telegram. Reto Critica says, thank you, friends. You will be seeing information through Telegram. Great. There's a lot to share.
You.
We will pay attention.
Of course, we will be sharing. Greetings, Avili Hernandez.
Says goalkeepers and the Mexican defender. Exactly. Is at the end of the day, that's what you're thinking about, right? Like how to get there.
Greetings. How can you get the other team to create opportunities that lead to mistakes? Yes, good point. That's where it happened. It says Iran is beating the United States 4-0. Nah, in the war, you say, hey, the United States and Iran are going to... No, I haven't checked which group they're in. Thanks. But Just imagine if that happened for a moment. How are the United States and Iran going to play? I don't know. I haven't checked which group Iran is in. Yeah. He says, thank you.
Greetings.
They did well. I mean, last time they ended up tied with. It's just that I don't remember which group they remember. It's just thank you. Last time they were tied with. Let me see who it was because I don't even remember which group they're in. Greetings.
Today, I said we really went all out because there were a lot of live streams. It's just that we started really early and realized that we said, well, that's it. It's going to calm down. But I kept watching. No, it's not always this much. But today, there really were a lot. And with Iran, greetings. First take. He says they had a match with New. Thanks. They ended up 2. They ended up tied. And then on Sunday, they have another match against Belgium. I think they're yes. Greetings.
How, right? Yeah, they have to win. They're obligated. Nye. And then the third match would be against Egypt, which would be on Friday the 26th. So, until next Friday. Oh. And, well, greetings. How's it going there if it's more even? But anyway, the thing is that everyone has 1 point in that group, right? It's all very thank you. I think they're really bad.
Greetings says,
For the result to happen, I mean, the United States, it had to be thanks in second place, and then it could happen.
greeting.
He says, well, he's crazy. Thanks. Crazy, right? Greetings to Rigoberto Bermudez. He says, today I set a record for Diablito's life. Yes, greetings too, says Jalala.
Reading. Maru says, I want to see that match. And they're playing against the United States. Yes. It's crazy. Against whom? Against the flag, right? Rocio Davila, shout out to Tijuana. How are you?
Greetings. Very good.
And to Gabriel Duran, who did an amazing show. Greetings, Gabriel.
Thanks, Gabriel. Big greetings and shout outs. Well, then let's go.
Let's go. It's really late, so we'll leave you now. It's 11:18. Greetings to Nelly Salazar, who's watching us from Galveston. And well, just so you know, tomorrow we'll be here early bringing you the latest news from around the world. Let's see how the soap opera called The United States and Iran is going. Are they going to keep being a couple or is it over? Okay, what's up with this whole thing? Or is it over already? Yes, of course. And well, we'll see you tomorrow.
Greetings to Retro Critica, Icon Render, and of course to Les G. Big shout out. He says Japan is coming in strong. That's what SG was saying. Yes. They're coming in strong. They really are. I want to watch that game to see how it goes. Marvin, hello there. Well, to the whole community of Alfonso, Leonardo, hope things get better. Hopefully you'll have power back soon. I'm not sure if you've gone yet, but people never seem to understand each other when they talk about it. Go and bring up the issue. Let's see if, I imagine you've already done it, but yeah, just imagine how are you supposed to be without power? No, Aurelio, big greetings.
With cold, it's obvious.
Of course. Aurelio, big greetings, huge greetings. Alfonso Caloso, thank you very much. Greetings all the way to California. And well, Karim, greetings, big greetings. See you tomorrow. Just so you know, in the morning, the live reports are short, unless the news needs to be extended, but normally they're short. And at night, we go longer. But well, we're always broadcasting, right? A big greeting. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
We interrupt your regular programming. Thank you for tuning into the truth. This is Pepe. Live. The truth is intense. Hard-hitting. The unbelievable is real. Hard-hitting. Here we analyze it from a global perspective. Don't miss out. Tune into the channel. Live, controlling the signal. Pepe and Astrid telling it like it is. Raw journalism. Here it's respected. Turn on the alert. Don't lose track. Until next time. Yes, sir! We're taking attendance.